Hey guys, it's Kristen. Hope you guys are doing well. I thought I'd pop in and answer a question that I get asked very, very often, and that is, what is in my Notions pouch? And I thought since I'm creating some extra content for my YouTube channel this week, I would answer that question. And yes, this is my Notions pouch that I carry with me at all times. And this was a really awesome gift from a lovely viewer of the podcast and someone that I follow on Instagram, Tiny Human Knits. She surprised me in the post by sending me this gorgeousness. Of course, it is a mauve cross-stitched bat, and of course it is lined with mauve fabric. And this pin right here is from my friend Caroline, who is also widely known as Dunder Knit. She gifted this to me when we first met at EYF, and I've just kept it on here ever since. So yeah, let's see what's inside this puppy. I'm just gonna dump it all out because that's what we do. Not the most organized of Notions pouches, but you know, I make it work somehow. There is her logo, Tiny Human Knits. Alright, so I did clean things up so you guys can clearly see what is in my Notions pouch and it doesn't just look like a pile of junk. So yeah, let's start in this corner over here. This is my needle gauge, and it's small enough that it fits inside my Notions pouch. It's super portable. It was a gift from a friend, and as you can see, all the holes are labeled in millimeters. And I'll be totally honest, I don't have my my knitting needle size is memorized in millimeters, but at least I do know that 4.0 millimeter needle is a US 6 and a 2.5 millimeter needle is a US 1.5. So at least I have that range to work from. So that comes in handy. But yeah, a very, very handy tool, even though it requires a little bit of brain power, but love it. And then of course I have some Tuft Woolens hand and body balm, which I cannot live without. I mean, again, it's super compact. It smells delicious. This was a gift from my friend Nina, who's Ine. She has the This Old Knit podcast, and of course I love Tuft Woolens. It's from her Rhinebeck scents, because cider donut. If you've ever been to Rhinebeck or heard of Rhinebeck, you probably heard about their infamous wonderful cider donuts. And yes, it smells exactly like that. Down here I have an assortment of progress keepers because you can never have enough progress keepers in my opinion. They're fun, and yeah, they look awesome hanging off your projects. And I love this little sushi or octopus sushi from Charmed and Dangerous, and yeah, a lot of these were gifts from some wonderful friends, and they just make me smile every time I look at them. In this corner we have some earplugs, and you're probably like, Kristen, why do you have earplugs in your Notions pouch? Believe it or not, these have come in handy more than I'd like to admit. Like every time I travel, without fail, I've always reached for a pair of earplugs, because whether I'm flying or sleeping at a hotel, it's just earplugs will always come in handy. And when I really needed them most, I was so surprised that I had a pair in my Notions pouch, and I've just kept a pair or a set in there ever since. So earplugs for the win. Of course, I have some more stitch markers, basic ones from Magpie. Those are really fun. And here we have a pom-pom maker, super cute, super tiny, because you never know. You never know when you'll need to make a pom-pom, especially a tiny one, because it's just awesome. My friend Hannah of the Corner of Craft, we did a holiday swap, and she gifted me these amazing keychain of crochet hooks, because when you make a mistake in knitting, you need a crochet hook to drop down all your stitches and hook them all back up again. So I cannot live without this thing. It's an awesome tool, and every knitter should have one in their Notions pouch. I mean, this is the ultimate tool, I think. So Hannah, thank you. This tool right here is also one of my most used and favorite tools that I keep in my Notions pouch. It is a darning needle, a handmade darning needle by Leslie Wind, and you've probably heard her. She makes these gorgeous knitting and fiber arts tools that can almost like seriously double as jewelry. I think she even makes rings that can double as cable holders. But she gifted this one to me. It's just so pretty, and I use it to weave in all my ends, to do the Kitchener stitch. I use it a lot. Over here we have tape measure. Can never go wrong with tape measure. Comes in handy all the time. And yeah, it's nothing fancy, just my basic, your average Clover plastic tape measure, retractable. It's sturdy. It's held up for so many years. If it ain't broke, I'm not gonna fix it. I love it. And these right here are awesome. And these are Merchant & Mills scissors, or I guess you could call them trimmers. Yeah, anyway, I use them to cut threads and yarn, and yeah, they come in handy so often, and I love that they're black and they go with everything. And I first heard about them through watching Tommi of Squirrel Pie Productions podcast. She also has Moonstone Dye Works, and she raved about these, and yeah, when I saw them, they were black and I loved them and had to get a pair of my own, and yes, they are awesome. So highly recommend them. I should also mention, if you enjoy bead knitting, a crochet hook with a really fine tip, I wouldn't say a US 10, always comes in handy. So yes, other than that, that is what I keep in my notions pouch for knitting, and you know, sometimes sewing, but for the most part, this is it. Let me know in the comments below what you keep in your notions pouch. Do you have the same things? Do you have another tool that I should know about? Let me know, and others, so we can, you know, stuff our notions pouches accordingly. And yeah, so anyway, I will link to some of the shops that I mentioned below, and yeah, I will see you in the next video. Bye!